Have you ever wondered what Cadwell Park looks like with 26 F1 sidecars roaring round the circuit? Well, it's time to find out. Welcome to Euro F1 Sidecar Challenge.
We're in Lincolnshire at the fantastic Cadwell Park circuit for the Battle of Britain, otherwise known as the Eastern Airways European F1 Sidecar Challenge. We're on round 4 already. The crowds are here en masse. The weather is perfect. Let's have a look back at the last round, round 3 at Alton Park with my compatriot here, Steve Day.
Yes, thanks, Roger. Well, last time out at Alton Park, of course, no Birchells due to injury, so the current world champions went out. The number 15 machine got the whole shot in race 1. Alan Scud Schofield and Steve Thomas. Tucked in behind there, number 3, Barry James and Carl Morgan. But Tim Reeves, championship leader, number 77, was pushing his way through. On board here with Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson. Really struggling to get the power down there, but Tim Reeves made his way up into the lead, just ahead of Barry James and Carl Morgan. Carl Morgan won't be with us here this weekend, unfortunately, due to an injury, so Mark Howard will be on the back of the sidecar with Barry James, as we see Phil Bell and Ashley Hawes going round, about to take what will be one of their best results of the season, number 8. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence were also improving, as were Scott Lorry and James Neve, number 72. There we see an onboard picture there of James Neve, passenger of Scott Lorry. But Tim Reeves it was at the front, number 77, the championship leader, that made his way round. The dust being kicked up there was from Barry James and Carl Morgan's outfit. They rejoined to finish 4th, but it was Tim Reeves and his French passenger Gregory Clues that extended their championship lead at Alton Park in race 1. Race 2 then, Alan Schofield and Steve Thomas on the luminous yellow sidecar got the whole shot again. We saw an onboard there with Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson, number 16. There's Phil Bell and Ashley Hawes making progress, but once Reeves got up into the front, all eyes were on the battle for second as Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence on that lime green machine closed in for the battle. Reeves and Clues pushed on away. There's the fight for second. Barry James and Carl Morgan, number 3, ahead of Schofield and Thomas. And then Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence, who made their way through to 3rd place and were hampering and bothering Schofield and Thomas. Peach and Richardson there having a fine scrap with Phil Bell and Ashley Hawes. But then, drama. Tim Reeves and Gregory Clues, championship leaders, engine problems by the sounds of things. They drop back. And here we can see Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson overtaking the series leaders. That then meant that the race at the front on the last lap was down to Lovelock and Lawrence and Schofield and Thomas. Either way, any of these guys would have taken their first win of 2010. You hear there an outfit going sideways. That's John Clark and Stuart Graham, number 90. Luckily, no injuries there. Reeves and Clues then on the side of the circuit, clearly not happy with what happened. But the main result was that Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence got the first win of 2010 on the board, 25 glorious points. And that was it from the Alton Park highlights.
So as we head into round 4, the halfway mark of the series, it is Reeves and Clues are on 165 points, 27 ahead now of Scud Schofield and Steve Thomas on 138, but the Birchells are still there on 99. Massive 66 points off of the lead, courtesy of missing that round 3. As the rest of the riders go down through the order there, this is the halfway point of the 8-round series, so a lot more points to be gained as the series carries on to its conclusion at Mallory Park in October. Cadwell Park, or the mini Nürburgring as it's been called in the past, in Lincolnshire, 2.17 miles, including the infamous mountain section. Now let's have an onboard lap with Alan Schofield and Steve Thomas, and Steve Day to talk us through.
Thanks, Roger. Around Coppice, the first corner on the left they go, and then into Charlie's in and Charlie's out. Very difficult to lay the power down, ready for the Park Straight. Cadwell Park, or to say it's physically and mentally demanding, is an understatement as they make their way down Park Straight. Not much time to rest though, and a great overtaking opportunity here into Park Corner. Probably a second gear corner before applying the power. You can hear the engine and the rear wheel spinning up into Chris Curve they go. Not a lot of room for overtaking, and you certainly wouldn't want to make a move up into the gooseneck here. Probably the hairiest point for any passenger as they flick right and then left off camber. Down the hill they go into Mansfield Corner. This all the way downhill, you cannot really afford to make an overtaking manoeuvre into there unless you want to go on the grass. On the exit of that, this awkward chicane, especially for a sidecar, not a favourite for any of the drivers or passengers before they make their way into what you could call the pinnacle of Cadwell Park. The left and right chicane before the mountain section. You see the grandstand on the left there. Over they go, the front wheel goes light, and then through Hall Bends. I can assure you the sidecars look spectacular through here. There's no room for two sidecars abreast as they make their way through Hall Bends and then into the hairpin. They make that hairpin look very, very quick indeed. Then it's a short burst to Barn. Another important corner because it leads you on to the start-finish straight. That is the lap of Cadwell Park. Roger, it's back over to you.
The big news of the weekend is the return of Ben and Tom Birchall to racing after missing out on round 3 at Alton Park. Let's have a word with the boys.
Well, after that nasty incident in Croatia, welcome back, Ben. Tell us about a bit what happened and how you're feeling after your injury.
Yeah, feeling not too bad really, considering. Just try to make the quickest recovery that I can possible. Just slight mistake really in practice. We were pushing hard and clipped a curb, which resulted in the bike turning over. It was high speed, and I went a long way underneath the bike with the bike trapped under me. So that was the result of the injuries that I suffered. But now I'm well on the road to recovery. Now I'm almost back to full fitness, and yeah, glad to be back on the bike and back here.
Well, we're glad to have you both here. Tom, this is a busy circuit for a passenger. Tell us a bit about what it's like, especially through Hall Bends, etc.
Yeah, it's fairly frantic, but it's you just got to get on with it. I mean, out the back of the circuit, it's fast and flowing and nice, but you come into there and it's just sort of survival really to get through it. But it's a local circuit for us, and we had some good results here back in 2005. It took us first ever double victory at British Championship, so it's nice to come back again. And we've got some good local support with Mitchells and Mansfield and Lawson surfacing, so we're trying our best today. Yeah.
Well, we're delighted to have you both back, and have a good day. Hopefully we'll see you on the podium a little bit later on.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Championship leader Tim Reeves, everything was going so well for you until the little hiccup at Alton Park where you had the breakdown. Just tell us a bit about what happened there.
Yeah, unfortunately the damage was done in the first race. We had an overheating problem and it got to 120 degrees, and it's apparently the Hondas have got a little issue with the camshaft sensors. They get to what they break down, and as you'll see from the British Superbike races, that some of the solos have been having issues, and that's what happened. It was in the race, it was great, and it just cut out. The camshaft sensor went down and started to misfire, and yeah, cut out completely, unfortunately.
This weekend you're second on the grid before the Super Pole race with the Birchalls back on pace. How do you think you fare today? A lot of people are saying it's very difficult to overtake. You think differently?
Yeah, no, it's a race, isn't it? Cadwell Park's good. I like the place. We had a few issues this morning, but we've overcome them, and yeah, the race is going to be good. Yeah, I'm sure. And we've finally got the Honda going good now, and it's really strong. And yeah, I think we'll have a good race.
Okay, well, thanks for talking to us, Tim, and maybe we'll speak to you a bit later on the podium.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Winners of the most recent round at Alton Park, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence. A fantastic victory for you both. You must be buzzing still from that. Here we are at Cadwell Park, different circuit. Looking for a top 3?
Yeah, obviously. It'd be ideal if we could. We know what Cadwell's like. Can throw lots of different things up. You can see the weather's on the change, so anything can happen really. We've qualified 6th. We weren't here yesterday, doing the practice, where I think a few of the other teams were. So they probably got a little bit of a head start, but, I'm not griping about that. We couldn't make it. But, yeah, top 3 would be great. But if we stay where we are, I think that would be just as good, really, realistically.
Rick, we're about half an hour away from the Super Pole race, and that's where positions can change. That could come into your hands there.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, we're in 6th now, so as long as we finish up in the top 8 still, then we're okay. But we would like to try and creep a bit further up the grid if possible, and then that will play for tomorrow. Yet again, like Roger said, weather is going to probably play a part in it, and normally does here. So it could completely change the race depending on if it's raining just before we go out and people opt for different tyres. It could make it very interesting. But yeah, realistically, we're quite nicely placed and within grabbing distance of the podium. So yeah, we'll take it if it comes.
Well, good luck to you both, and we'll hopefully speak to you again later on.
Well, you may remember at the last round we've concentrated on the passenger and what they did round the circuit. Well, this time we thought we'd better even things up and talk to the drivers, and who better than probably the best driver there ever was, Steve Webster.
Steve Webster, Last time out at Alton Park, you were kind enough to take me round in the chair, and the focus was passengers. Today, though, I want to talk about drivers. 10 times world champion as a driver. Tell us a bit what life is like as a driver.
I think really when you start to drive a sidecar, it's all about getting comfy to start with, because obviously you're not sat down like a car, or you're not actually sat on it like a bike. So your seating position is very difficult, and it's a one-off thing. There's no other sport like it really, where you're knelt with obviously your feet backwards and you're not kneeling with your hands forward, and you get a lot of pressure on your chest and your neck. So it's very difficult to keep your head up and to see what's going on. So that part of it, from the physical side, is quite a different thing. You've got to do a lot of training for. But then most of the drivers, they're also running their own, setting their own bikes up and being involved in the mechanical side as well as also trying to find the money to do it. So they're promoting themselves and running about. So it's not driving is just one part of it, but yeah, team aspect's quite immense as well.
We're going to speak to Scott Laurie in a moment, and he'll tell us a bit about how he finds things as a driver. Talk to us about the positions of the brakes, etc., because it is different, obviously, to your standard motorcycle.
Yeah, you, like I said earlier, you're actually knelt on kneeling down in the cockpit of the bike, and you're braking with your left foot, and all the brakes, you've got no handlebar brakes at all. All the braking of all the wheels is actually through your left foot. You've got a small brake bias at the front which you can alter, which puts more braking on the front or the back, so you can actually change that while you're going round. Change gear with your right foot, again behind you, so it's all to do with like foot pedalling really, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about counter steering as well, because we see a lot of that with sidecar drivers.
Yeah, I think the fact that you can almost set the bikes up almost like rally style, let's say, before you get into a corner, because you've got the three wheels, you can actually get them sliding. On a solo, if you do that, you've got to be pretty good, otherwise you're going to fall off. But sidecars, you've got a lot more safety side, because you have got the part on a sidecar that actually stops you tipping over.
Scott, one question I've been dying to ask most of the sidecar drivers around here is, what made you come into sidecar racing? What point in your life do you think, okay, I'm mad enough to try this out?
Yeah, it's something I've always wanted to do since I've been a little kid. Used to watch it on telly a long time ago. Never ever been in a position to until later on in life when I could afford that. And yeah.
What's the difference like? I mean, obviously you started passengering and then you went into driving. Do you prefer the driving side of it?
Yeah, definitely. The only reason why I passengered in the first place was to find out what the passenger does, his job, before I moved on to driving. So once I mastered that, then I moved on to the cockpit sort of thing. Yeah.
Round Cadwell Park, tight and twisty, must be very hard work for both of you.
Awesome place. Best place in the world to come racing a sidecar.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Scott, and hopefully we'll see you up in the sort of sharp end.
Yeah, let's hope so. Bye-bye.
Scott Laurie there, looking confident and looking forward to the weekend's racing. The start is always important, but even more so here, so the qualification Super Pole race was eagerly anticipated. The riders came to the line on the Saturday there to determine their grid positions for the all-important two races on Sunday. So first of all, it was on the line there, the Birchells 0.6 of a second ahead of everybody else as we headed off to the race. Barry James in there with his replacement passenger for the weekend, Mark Howard. Schofield and Thomas again not getting their customary whole shot this time, but with the bright yellow outfit they were there or thereabouts. But no surprise really, right from the off it was Tim Reeves, Greg Kluser and the Birchells disputing the lead. As we said, this is a very, very technical, demanding circuit, so the start really will be important, and these two were going at it hammering tongs and setting it up for a fantastic day's racing on Sunday. Over the mountain section they go there, the passengers working really hard here. The drivers have to be very precise right the way around the circuit, but the passengers don't have a second to breathe. They really do have to be working hard left and right, as you can see. Possibly one of the most demanding, but as you heard Scott Laurie say, enjoyable circuits on the calendar for the whole 8-round series. Across the line, we see the green outfit there of Roger Lovelock, winner of the race at Alton Park at round 3. Looking for a repeat of that this weekend. The weather at the moment is dry, and we're keeping our fingers crossed it will be so all weekend. But it was a victory for Ben and Tom Birchall.
So, lining up on the grid, pole position for Ben and Tom Birchall. Just behind them, championship leaders Tim Reeves and Greg Clues, with Barry James and new passenger Mark Howard in third. Fourth, Schofield and Thomas, with Peach and Richardson just behind. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence are in sixth place. Brian Pedder and Rod Stedman, seventh on the grid, with Scott Laurie and James Neve in eighth. Then the Pottingers are in ninth, Darrell and Gordon, with Bygrave and new passenger Dipash Shawan in 10th. A little bit further back there we can see Carl Parkinson and Darren Tritton, Phil Bell, Ashley Hawes, Ken Napton and Tony Belsey. Then we've got row 11, 12 and 13, number 44 there, Roger Body, one of the men that makes this all tick. Well, we're going to take a short break here, and then afterwards we'll be able to show you all the action from Sunday's two big races.
Welcome back to Cadwell Park for round 4 of the Eastern Airways European F1 Sidecar Challenge. Race 1, the riders taken to the line, and the current world champions, the number 1, the Birchalls, the local boys, with lots of fans and lots of local sponsors here to cheer them on, and a lot to prove. They are on pole position just in front of championship leaders, the Reeves and Cluser pairing. Third position there we have the number 15, the bright yellow outfit there of Scud Schofield and Steve Thomas. They've been struggling with front end grip over the weekends. They're not entirely happy at the moment. James and Barry James, a new passenger Mark Howard in there. There's going to be quite a debut for Mark on this challenging circuit there. Now, you can't miss this outfit, that's for sure. The green meanie of the number 49, Roger Lovelock, the current British champion there, the man who took victory in race 2 at the last round at Alton Park. Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson, the crew who have been our camera crew on previous occasions, so we'll be keeping an eye out for them as well. Number 72 there, it is Scott Laurie, the man that was interviewed earlier on today, the man who is looking forward to a good result. Green flag is up. We are ready for race 1 here at the magnificent Cadwell Park as the riders head off. It is straight away into the lead. The 77, Tim Reeves, series leader for that all-important first corner. As the rest of the crew stream through, thankfully with that incident at the moment, we're on board with Scud Schofield. As we say, been having some grip problems so far around this circuit, but hopefully he may have got that sorted out. But already it is the Birchalls and Reeves and Cluser who are heading off at the front, which is not good news for the rest of the teams.
Yeah, Schofield and Thomas there, number 15. We've just been on board with not only front-end problems there, Roger, but I spoke to Alan before this race. He's also been having real trouble laying the power down on Charlie's in and Charlie's out. So we'll have to keep an eye on that bright yellow machine and see if they can maintain third position.
So it is the Honda-powered LCR of Tim Reeves with the French passenger Greg Cluser already out in front, as we say, championship leaders at the moment and with a hefty lead in the championship. Has a look behind and unsurprisingly he sees the big number 1 of the Birchalls there. Back to full fitness, thankfully. You can see how hard the passengers have to work there with the Sidecar wheel coming off of the ground as they head left and right round this circuit. It really is demanding on driver and passenger. The passenger physically and the driver mentally, because they really do have to be precise and together on this one. So the two leaders already, as you would expect, the two usual suspects starting to pull away at the front, but Scud Schofield, as usual, is hanging in there in third place on number 15. The all-new liveried number 72 there of Scott Laurie, and the all-black outfit is a good fighting fourth position.
Yeah, they've climbed up from 8th position on the grid, Scott Laurie and James Neve. Well worth keeping an eye on them. We just spoke to Scott Laurie and he looked like he was fired up for the weekend. We're now on board with Alton Park race winners Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence. But at the front, it looks like the Birchalls have managed to get ahead of Reeves and Clues there.
Yeah, we didn't see that happen on camera, but straight away the Birchalls are in front. As we say, they've got a lot to prove this weekend. They're locally based. The sponsors are a local team as well, and a lot of fans that are here to support them. So they also, of course, they have some ground to make up. 66 points behind the number 77 Reeves and Cluser outfit in the championship. At the halfway stage, there is a lot to make up, but they've got a lot of races to do that. But straight away, you can see the gap opening up between these two and the rest of the field. The current Grand Prix contestants, don't forget as well, and they are subject to the rule changes brought in 2010, whereby these Grand Prix contenders, the best riders and passengers in the world, are allowed only to run standard engines, where the normal national teams can run tuned engines. That should even the races out, but as normal, the best and the cream will always rise to the top. This is being proved by these two. The bright yellow you can see in the background, it is Scud Schofield just coming into picture there.
Yeah, there we're on board with Alan Schofield and Steve Thomas, watching Steve Thomas do all his work on the back there. These two guys have also got a standard engine. They've took part in a couple of World Championship events, but as I said before, having real problems keeping up with the Birchells and Reeves and Clues. The pace, of course, is almost on lap record pace. The lap record stands with Tim Reeves in 2008, a 1:32.03. But Reeves and Clues not being dropped at the moment by Ben and Tom Birchall, so the race win could go either way as they drop down the hill into Mansfield Corner.
Well, we've seen drama before when these two have battled, particularly at round 2 of the series when we saw they had a coming together. But round here, the 2.17 mile mountain circuit here at Cadwell, first opened in 1934 with bike racing here, and some of the early meetings attracted up to 30,000 excited spectators. So a lot of history at this circuit. We've seen some classic races over the years in both solo and sidecars, and that's why we always look forward to coming back here. Further down the order, you can see mid-pack battles going on all along, including the number 49, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence. We saw them earlier on today, and you're never going to miss them on their outfit. But look how tight it is. Passing opportunities are really at a minimum round here, and a bit of bravery as well as skillful driving come into it here. Alan Schofield settled into third position there on the yellow number 15 as the rest of the pack charged through with another lap counted down.
Scott Laurie and James Neve, the black outfit number 72, are in fourth place charging, trying to catch Schofield and Thomas. But at the moment, here we are, number 1, the Mitchell-sponsored white and red outfit number 1. World champions Ben and Tom Birchall lead from the light blue outfit number 77 of Reeves and Clues. There's Schofield and Thomas in third, Laurie and Neve in fourth, Barry James and new passenger Mark Howard fifth, with Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence there they are in sixth, just ahead of Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson.
Barry James there out with a replacement engine courtesy of Roger Body, who loaned him a motor so that he could continue for the rest of the weekend. So as ever, the Sidecar boys, some of the closest in racing, and will always help each other out. But the two leaders, look how hard they're going for it. This one is not over. As we say, we've seen drama, we've seen action when these two get together, and it could happen at any moment. They are so close. The slightest mistake from the Birchells will let Tim Reeves and Greg Cluser through. Greg Cluser, first time he's been here. And there's the number 8s going through. It is the number 8 of Bell and Hawes, all on their own at the moment, but not going to be for long as the rest of the pack charge through. But at the front, the race is still on. The Birchells, with the local support, the local sponsors, out on the Yamaha engine, of course, against the Honda, the two different engines that both compete in their third place. It is still Alan Schofield, Steve Thomas, as the rest of the field pass through. Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson just in front of Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence, as you can see. We're on board with Scud Schofield, Steve Thomas again, the number 15s, the bright yellow outfit, remember. Bottom left, you can see it is there. The passenger, Steve Thomas, working hard, but at the front, Greg Cluser, leg trailing Valentino Rossi style there as they head round the right-hander. This race is going to go right down to the wire. Anything could happen as they dive down the hill into the turns. Look at the passengers. They have to really get out long for the left-hander and then ready to flick back over to the right-hand side again. And already at the front, you can see the Birchells, how hard they were trying. The bike weaving left and right over there because they don't need to look over their shoulder, that's for sure, because they can hear and probably feel the Reeves and Cluser outfit right behind them. This is classic sidecar racing from two of the best crews in the world at the moment. A bit of off-road in there for Reeves and Cluser. That's how hard he's trying. Andy Peach in number 16, they're still chasing hard, trying to catch up with Roger Lovelock, the number 49. But it's the front battle that everyone is concentrating on at the moment. Who is going to come out on top? This is exactly what the Birchells came here for this weekend. They wanted to bring home victory, not just for the local fans, not just for themselves, but also to keep their championship on track.
There we see number 74, Ben Bygrave, and his new teammate, Dipesh Chauhan. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence then are on board as they exit Charlie's. This is the part where they have to lay the power down very, very early, and you can see they did a good job of that because they're right in the slipstream of Barry James and Mark Howard there. Scott Lorry, you can see number 72, closing in now on Schofield and Thomas. Once they get round to Mansfield Corner, it's pretty much a possession there, Roger, because they just cannot overtake. It's such a narrow circuit from here onwards. Provided Birchells don't make any mistakes, Reeves and Cluse are just not going to get past them at this part.
Well, that's exactly it, Steve. You said, will the Birchells make a mistake, or will Reeves and Cluse get a bit more aggressive and try and force the issue? We will see. Battle for third position, you can see on camera there. The passengers, Steve Thomas has a casual look behind and can see it is Scott Lorry making a move up the inside. Scott Lorry, the 2009 Scottish champion, the man... the red-headed man we saw earlier on being interviewed and seemed very cool, calm and relaxed and looking forward to this weekend. Well, you can see why. They're having a great result at the moment. Look at the passenger. You can see left and right flicking across our camera shot at the moment. There really is nowhere to hide for the passengers. We know who's done the work over the winter. We will find out who's fit and who's not. But back at the front, it is still appropriately the number one, the current world champions, the Birchells leading.
There we see Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence lining up a move on Barry James and Mark Howard. But also Scott Lorry looks like he's desperate to get past Scud Schofield. Steve Thomas, his passenger we just saw going through Hall Bends, absolutely hates this place. He told me, we're on board with him now, he said that of all the circuits he can't wait to get out of the way. It is indeed this one, and we just lost sight of Scott Lorry there, so maybe they've lost a place. Oh, and look at them sliding around there. Scott Lorry then still just behind Schofield and Thomas in third and fourth.
Tyres are going to be very, very critical this weekend, but straight away you can see riders going off the circuit.
Yeah, that's number 88, Craig Nicol and Ralph Pride there. Ben Birchall and Tom Birchall then from Mansfield, sponsored by Mitchells. They still lead from Tim Reeves and Greg Cluse. Tim Reeves could almost just coast around and take second position. 20 points would still be very good for them in the championship, but we know Tim Reeves a little bit better than that. I fancy him to have a pop somewhere.
That's exactly right. The sensible option would be to stay there and take the second position, but these boys are racers. They want to be number one. We'll see what happens. A real tight line there from Reeves and Cluse as they just clip the dirt. Third place, it is still Alan Schofield, Steve Thomas, as it has been right from the get-go. So a good, solid ride for them, and that will keep their second place in the championship on track. But the race starting to count down now. This race one of the two main championship races we will have here today at Cadwell Park, and the leaders are still there. But Scott Lorry having a brilliant ride there. The new liveried outfit, well, that's proven to be a good omen for them as they head round for the rest of the circuit. But you can see Roger Lovelock, the green outfit, and the bottom right-hand corner is all over the back of them like a rash at the moment. Rick Lawrence working hard as they now try and get the power down to dive downhill and maybe make a move on Alan and Steve on the number 15.
Yeah, Scott Lorry there, Roger, has moved ahead then of Schofield and Thomas. So Schofield and Thomas maybe. There you see number 72 going through. There's now the battle. Roger Lovelock's all over the back. So Schofield and Thomas are having grip issues by the looks of things. Barry James and Mark Howard there just a little bit further behind.
So Mark Howard on his debut in the team today. The stand-in passenger, don't forget, for the number 3, Barry James, having a good ride. But look how close things are here. It is 49. You can see Roger Lovelock, current British champion, and the rider who won a race rather unexpectedly at round 3 when the two top contenders gifted him almost the race there. But as they say, to finish first you've got to finish. So Roger Lovelock took victory, and he's got a taste for things now, as you can see, up over the famous mountain section, the one where we've seen all the photographs over the years of riders with the front wheel in the air. Well, the Sidecar's working just as hard and just as quick through these bends. Look at that, left, right, flick, flack. The passengers really are earning their corn this weekend as we dive down towards the finish one more time, round the long right-hander and down to complete yet another lap. Last lap.
Yeah, we're on last lap, and believe it or not, Roger, I have actually just heard, I believe we've got some drama at the front. I think Ben and Tom Birchall have lost the rear end somewhere. Tim Reeves and Greg Cluse have followed them, so they've both gone off circuit. You can see the Birchall team there on the pit wall looking a bit dismayed as to where their team are. They have rejoined the circuit, so we'll have to see, but that now means that Scott Lorry here and James Neve are on course for their first win of the year.
Well, how cool was that? We interviewed him before the race today. We said he was looking cool and confident. Well, I'm sure he wouldn't have predicted this one. So Scott Lorry, 2009 Scottish champion, looks to have things in the bag on this last lap, but second position, who's going to get that one? Because at the moment, Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence on the green outfit are trying everything they know to get by the 15, the man who is in a solid, safe third position, Alan Scud Schofield and Steve Thomas.
Now we can see the Birchalls number one. You can see them, so they have rejoined the circuit ahead of Reeves and Clues. They're just behind Barry James and Mark Howard at the moment in about 5th place. So on this last lap, can they make any ground up at all? Where are Reeves and Clues? I understand they're in about 8th place at the moment.
You saw James Neve celebrating already halfway round the last lap as the number 2 goes through, Carl Parkinson, Darren Tritton. But it is the black outfit we're looking for. There they are, right on cue. It is Scott Lorry and James Neve taking victory in race 1. Fantastic for them. Schofield and Thomas taking second, just in front of Roger Lovelock in 3rd position, and a recovering Birchall's in 4th place. Well, drama all right to the end of that race. Sidecar Racing lives up to its reputation, giving us fantastic action right to the end. So Scott Lorry takes victory from Schofield and Thomas, Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence in 3rd place. Birchall's eventually brought it home in 4th place.
Yep, fantastic stuff there. It's not over till it's over, is it? Brilliant stuff. Tim Reeves and Greg Clues did come home to finish in 8th place, so they do pick up some points. And, well, you must admit that they're pretty unlucky there not to pick up 20 points at least. A little bit further down there, 73, Chaplin Evanson, one of the DNFs, Holland Watson, Lindsay Fairhost and Gilbert and Allen. Let's have a little look at them on the podium. A very happy Neve and Lorry.
For the winners today in race 1, Scott Lorry and James Neve.
Well, we didn't see that result coming. Let's have a word with them.
New race winners, Scott Lorry and James Neve. Fantastic to see you on the top step. Did you see Ben and Tim go off?
Yeah, I thought it was my birthday, to be fair. I seen them in the grass and I thought, yeah, let's go.
You've both been on real good pace this weekend anyway, so your lap times are up there, so you were probably podium bound anyhow, but the win is just the icing on the cake.
Can he be it? Superb, fantastic.
James, how have you found it around here? Very physical circuit for a passenger.
I love this. Is my home circuit, so I love this circuit. It is very physical for a passenger. As long as you sort of get them all corners stringed together, it seems to flow and it's good.
Well, new colour scheme, new leathers, well done. We'll hopefully see you up here again for race 2.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Second place, Alan Schofield and Steve Thomas. A bit of a surprise to be up here.
Absolutely, we've had a real disaster this weekend. Obviously, you can't have good weekends every weekend, but this time it's just everything's gone wrong. We couldn't find the setup, couldn't get the grip, we tried this, tried the other, and after yesterday's race was disastrous at 6th, you know what I mean? Plus the lap times were way off. So this time we've altered a few things, thought right, just go out and see what we can do. And I'm thinking halfway through the race and thinking, where are they all? You know what I mean? Like, we kept with Ben and Reeves to start with, and they've just got that gap every time, which is fine, which is what they expected. I'm thinking, well, hang on, they passed us by this time already in the last second race, so can't be doing too shabby. So we just carried on, and then in the end we got one. And then coming on to the last lap, Roger had a real dive up the inside. I'm thinking, whoa, mate, that's the green stuff for you. But anyway, managed to hold it, so good on to him there. And we just managed, then he just sort of blocked it because I was tired, really hot. This course is absolutely the worst for driver and passenger. It's non-stop, it really is. So good luck to the lads. A new winner, fantastic for this series, so let's keep it up.
Third place in race 1, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence. A very tough race out there for you. You almost got second place, not quite this time.
No, not quite. To my amazement, we got third, and I thought we probably got a 5th maybe, but yeah, unbelievable, we're here again.
Rick, yeah, obviously an incident for the Birchalls which took Reeves and Clues off the circuit as well. A great result for you.
I wasn't aware they were off until we were up into the last lap going out the fast rights and saw Ben behind us, and I thought, this is interesting. Didn't see Tim, just sort of thought we've got to let Roger know we've got to keep going because Birchalls were closing quick, so to get a third, yeah, great. Had a great race, a few overtaking manoeuvres, all in good race, so well chuffed, yeah, back here again, great.
Drama and action all the way in race 1. We're going for a short break. Don't go anywhere. Join us again for race 2. Welcome back to Lincolnshire, to Cadwell Park, as we get ready for race 2. Can the action get any more exciting? Well, we'll wait and see. Race 1, don't forget there, drama right at the very end. The number 77 championship leaders coming into today, Tim Reeves, Greg Kluser, eventually only finished in 8th position. The Birchells, who were leading and looked to have everything sewn up, they came home in 4th position. So the championship straight away has got a lot closer at the top. Let's see what can happen this time. We had an unexpected victor in race 1. Will the same happen again? The green flag is being prepared as the riders come to the line there. Scud Schofield, number 15, takes up his position. He is recognised as one of the fastest starters in Sidecar racing. Can he do it again as we look forward to that all-important first turn? The Birchells with the number 1, the local boys on the right-hand side, pole position in front of 77 championship leader. It is Reeves and Kluser. As the flag drops, the lights go out, and Reeves and Kluser look to have it, but Birchells cut across, right across the front of everybody and sweep round the first turn.
Yeah, it looked like a good start there from Barry James and Mark Howard as well. Roger Lovelock we're on board with in about 5th place, number 49. They go around Charlie's and onto the back straight. You can see there, they're just behind Reeves and Kluser. So Ben and Tom Birchall, number 1, lead from Barry James and Carl Morgan. Then it looks like Brian Pedder and Rod Stedman that are up to 3rd place. So a fantastic start for them. There we see number 72, race 1 winners Scott Laurie and James Need. So it's Birchall's in the front there from Barry James, then Brian Pedder in 3rd, Roger Lovelock 4th, and Tim Reeves in 5th place.
There's our race 1 winner Scott Laurie there, but we're looking back there in the order to see where Reeves and Kluser are, and we're having to look an awful long way back down. There they are, right on cue. They're right behind Roger Lovelock at the moment, but they really have got their work cut out now. They are back mid-pack. They missed the start somewhere there on one of the early turns, so they've got a lot of work to do on what is a very, very difficult circuit to pass on. So we have the Birchells on the Yamaha engined LCR, the number 1 outfit at the front. They will be getting a pit signal telling them that Tim Reeves is back down the pack. There he is, currently running in 5th position. You see the 77 just in front of Alan Schofield, the number 15 in the yellow. Well, this is really going to make for some action in this second race of the day, Steve.
Yes, it is, and it's a surprise to see Reeves and Kluser not getting off to a good start. It's ideal for Ben and Tom Birchall, who are trying to make points up after missing out at Oulton Park. There they are, we're just on board with Lovelock and Lawrence. Barry James and Mark Howard. Barry James on that borrowed engine of Roger Bodies doing a great job in 2nd place. And what a drive at the moment from Brian Pedder and Rod Stedman. Well up there in 3rd place. And here we are on board with Lovelock and Lawrence again, down into Mansfield, just behind Reeves and Kluser. And you can see Pedder and Stedman just a little bit further ahead. But it is still the white and red Mitchell-sponsored machine of Ben and Tom Birchall that lead.
But in 2nd place, you can see that Barry James having a brilliant ride, hanging on. An excellent start for him and hanging on to the Birchells at the front.
Oh, we've got red flags.
Red flag, so arms up, red flag we have at the moment. Not sure why that is, we will see in a moment. But red flag, that means the race is stopped. So there is an incident somewhere around the circuit, obviously a safety issue.
Yeah, well, it looks like there was an incident involving John Clark, Stuart Graham. We've also lost Greg Lambert and Carl Schofield as well, so hopefully all drivers and passengers are okay. What that does mean is we're going to get a complete restart. So Reeves has got another crack at the whip here, Roger.
Rewind, we're restarting the race now. There are the 2 contenders, so Tim Reeves this time makes no mistake as he fires into the lead. Greg Kluser smoothly moves out as they go around the left-hander. So a complete reversal and, a bit of luck there for Tim Reeves. He was struggling back in 4th position, but with the restart, he's made no mistake this time and puts the 77 in front. Greg Kluser way over the back of the outfit. Scud Schofield in 2nd, and it is the Birchells in 3rd place. So a whole different race again, Steve.
Yeah, it's almost a shame in some ways for Ben and Tom Birchall. They had a decent lead. They're now down in 3rd. Reeves and Kluser must think all their Christmases have come at once after their terrible first start. They've made up for it. Pedder and Stedman are further back. In fact, we seem to have lost them. So Pedder and Stedman, maybe they were involved in that earlier incident. Barry James also didn't make quite as good a start, but it's a good position there for Alan Schofield and Steve Thomas in 2nd, just in front of Ben and Tom Birchall.
Tim Reeves having a very long, casual look over his shoulder there, presumably looking to see where the Birchells are. On board again with Alan Schofield. Steve Thomas, look at Thomas. You can see him keeps appearing in the picture. There's his foot just waving there casually, and he can't afford to make any mistakes because the number one outfit, the Birchells, there they are just coming into shot, but making the most of this, the 77, Tim Reeves, the 38-year-old from Maidstone, and Gregory Cluser, his French passenger, joined him this year, don't forget, for the first time, are making the most of that lead.
Well, race one winners Scott Lorry and James Neve didn't make the best of starts that time around. They're well back in the pack, so maybe they've got a bit of a problem. I think they're a little bit further behind Lovelock and Lawrence, but this is great stuff from Reeves and Clues. Birchells have finally got by Schofield and Thomas, so can they now chase down Tim Reeves and Gregory Clues?
Well, now we've got a proper race on. This is it, a clear track in front of the Birchells. Can they reel in Tim Reeves and Greg Cluser? Reeves will get a signal soon telling him that the Birchells are now in second position, but with a clear circuit, let's see what happens. Roger Lovelock dives down the hill, the number 49, and takes third momentarily, but Schofield, the wily old fox, dived back inside again as soon as Roger Lovelock went a little bit wide.
Yeah,
so,
they don't call him Scud for nothing, Roger. That was a great piece of sidecar overtaking and into two places where you wouldn't expect to see overtaking manoeuvres as well.
Up over the mountain they go. There is Scott Lorry, our race one victor there, all in black. Just in front of the number 3, Barry James, who's starting to slip back down the order just a touch.
Yeah, we see him now going through Hall Bends. This is a massive lead for Tim Reeves and Gregory Clues. And Ben and Tom Birchall have got a lot of work to do if they want to try and catch this gap up. The brilliant battle here for third. There's Schofield and Thomas 15. Number 49, Roger Lovelock. And Rick Lawrence going round the outside and making it stick into turn one. That's brilliant.
That was fantastic. They just drove round the outside. They went the long way round, that's for sure. And Roger Lovelock, Rick Lawrence having a blinding race. Now look at the gap they've got to make up. They've the ones with the clear circuit in front of them now. There is our race leader, Tim Reeves. And a long gap you can see, but look how hard the Birchells are pushing. They drift really wide before we get Roger Lovelock come through there, and it is Barry James in fourth position.
Yeah, there's race one leaders, number 72, Scott Lorry and James Neve on the all-black outfit. This lead at the front doesn't seem to have closed as Tim Reeves and Gregory Clues make their way into Mansfield. In fact, it looks like it's extended slightly. Ben and Tom Birchall can't keep up the pace. Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence still in third, and it's now Barry James and Mark Howard, and Scott Lorry and James Neve have gone wide there into Mansfield.
Well, we saw that earlier on, but they dived down there, but over-braked, unfortunately, and went wide and lost the position again. But all the way down, we've got battles. Schofield and Thomas there, and Scott Lorry having a royal battle, as you can see. They take to the grass even to try and get a little bit of advantage. The tyres will begin to go off now as the race goes down. It gives them a hard workover as well. So you will see the outfits moving around a whole lot more as the race counts down. At the front, though, Tim Reeves settled there in a good position, a good solid lead for him. He is the championship leader. This will extend it again. The Birchells with their Yamaha engine and Avon tyres, they're in second position, but it's not what they wanted.
Yeah, we can see there. There's Lorry and Neve going through, and number 74, the lime green and yellow machine of Ben and Dipash. They're doing a good job this round. Ben, one of the youngest drivers out there. Dipash, who was actually passengering Tim Reeves at the TT earlier this year, so maybe a name that you remember. There's Lorry and Neve. There is Ben and Dipash on the number 74.
Well, the new regulations definitely seem to be working this year, because you can see, apart from the leaders there, everyone else is pretty close with the tuned and untuned engines, Grand Prix riders and Nationals all together. Scott Lorry having another look as he went down, but this time he's learned from his last error and hasn't overshot the corner, and right on the back of Scud Schofield.
Yeah, Scud Schofield starts the races so well, and it's almost as if they just fall back. Each lap they've lost another place. There's Roger Boddy there, number 44, and his passenger Lee Barrett.
They're the ones, don't forget, who kindly loaned their engine out earlier during the day. But at the front, the laps clicking off, another one down there for the leaders. The gap is coming down, you can see visually, but it's still comfortable for Tim Reeves in front of the Birchells at the moment. Third place, it is now the 49, that bright green outfit, Roger Lovelock. the 2009 British champion there in the solid third. Scott Laurie, well, it doesn't look as though he's going to make it a double victory this weekend, but he still will go home with a big smile on his face, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's got past Schofield and Thomas, and Bygrave and Chowan are just behind, and it looks like Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson, number 16 on the L&W Racing Machine, are making good headway as well. So Lovelock and Howard's just going through there. Oh, and there we go. That's a fall there. It's a big accident. And Scott Laurie, James Neve and Schofield and Thomas have spun off circuit. So they're going to rejoin. Luckily, all drivers and passengers look to be safe and okay, but they've lost quite a few places there.
Well, there was some long accusing looks going out between Schofield and Laurie. Let's see what happened. Well, he just overcooked it. Laurie overcooked it, Schofield got hooked up, and also the rest of the pack had nowhere to go. Passengers got flung out, but thankfully they're up and on their feet and back in the race.
Yeah, Ben Bygrave and Dipesh Chowan got caught up as well there, so there was 3 teams that spun off. We're on to the last lap, and oh, you can hear that there, there's a problem. Tim Reeves and Gregory Clues sounded like they were missing as they came across the line there.
Well, it's the Honda. Is that Honda happening again? You said earlier it was the camshaft sensor that went wrong at Alton Park. Is that causing a problem again? Because the outfit is definitely misfiring. We're on the last lap. Can Tim Reeves bring it home?
Yeah, you can see Scott Laurie and James Neve have got problems as well. It's all happening on the last lap. Do you know, I've got a funny feeling, that's not an engine problem. Let's have a look here. Number 77. Now, they're still leading the race.
They're leading the race, but more importantly, let's have a listen. That sounds as though it's firing
sounds okay.
again. So
I think it might be fuel, Roger. I think they may well have run out of fuel.
Well, let's see. They're there at the moment. Second place, it is the Birchells. Will they be gifted the lead? We'll wait and see. The number 3 going through is still a good ride there for Barry James, but it's the front, it's the leaders. And there's trouble. It's gone again. It's gone again. Reeves and Cluser, whatever the problem is, it's hit them again. And suddenly, the Birchells have seen that. The last lap and the Birchells, well, will they be gifted it, or will Team Reeves' bike cut in again? We're on the last half lap there. This is going to go right down to the end. Greg Cluser puts his hand up and signals that they have the problem, and suddenly the Birchells take a very popular lead. Tim Reeves shakes his head in disbelief as they go round. So not only have they lost the lead, they're about to lose even more positions, because third place there now goes to the 49, takes over second. Roger Lovelock goes in second position as Greg Cluser shakes his head and holds his hand up. Will they even make it to the finish?
No, I don't think they will. That's died. That's not going to make it round. So it looks like he's run out of fuel purely on the basis that it was cutting in and out. And it looks like the Birchells are going to take an unexpected victory.
An unexpected and very popular victory. The pit lane celebrates, the crowd celebrates. So drama right to the very, very end. We have it. Sidecars, don't you just love them? Fantastic action right to the end. And the Birchells now, the championship will change all over again.
Yeah, it's wide open. Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson went across the line to take a very solid 4th place. But Barry James and Mark Howard, after borrowing that engine, and made their way up to 3rd place. That's a great result. But the Birchells, well, they must be delighted with that unexpected but great win.
Well, Lady Luck was certainly looking down on the Birchells, that one, with their Yamaha engine outfit. They took victory from Roger Lovelock in second. The James and Howard new partnership take a solid 3rd position in front of Andy Peach in 4th. Further down the order, you can see Scott Laurie this time finished in 13th place to back up his race 1 victory, and Roger Body down there in 17th position, and the Lindsay and Fairhurst pairing take 20th and the final positions. Reeves and Cluser unclassified, and a big fat 0-point score.
There you see the podium with all 3 podium takers and the Morris Lubricants winners, who get an award for an outstanding achievement. That's Carl Parkinson and Darren Tritton. 3rd place, Barry James and Mark Howard. Barry, after yesterday, you must be absolutely thrilled with this performance.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Borrowed an engine from Roger Body and it brought us back up to the front, which is fantastic. I really do need to thank Roger. I can't thank him enough.
It's great to have you up here on the podium. Mark Howard, a fantastic result for you. Obviously, you've come in last minute to replace Carl Morgan, so you must be delighted to be on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to help out, really. It's an unfortunate incident that's happened between with Carl, but it can't be helped, it's racing, so I'm just happy that I got the opportunity to step up and get involved, so yeah, well happy.
Well, you both deserve it. Well done, and we'll see you at Brands Hatch.
Thank you very much. Cheers. See you later.
2nd place, Roger Lovelock and Rick Lawrence. Rick, we'll start with you. A great weekend for you both. I doubt you're expecting to be on the podium all weekend.
We're trying. We're happy with that. We're the same sort of place we were at Alton Park and managed some results there. And out on the track, we're getting quicker and quicker. We didn't do Friday practice, so yeah, I think we're happy with that. It's a good weekend for us, and loving it up here. So yeah, try harder.
It's good to see that lime green machine up there, Roger, and third place in the championship. You know, you're closing in. That has to be the aim, surely.
Well, yeah, keep it going, I think. Never expected this, to be quite honest with you. We were looking good for third place in the race, but then Tim pulled out. I don't know what problem he had. Somebody said it's about a fuel issue, I don't know. But no, we're here again. I can't believe it. Unbelievable. Yeah, and we're looking forward to Brands Hatch, because one of my favourite circuits.
Race 2 winners, Ben and Tom Birchall. Ben, you've already told me that, you know, you don't like to win races out like that, with Tim obviously having to pull out, but I'm sure you'll take the 25 points.
Yeah, I'll take it for sure. But as I said, it's not the way to win a race really. But he got the drop on me and tried my hardest to pull him back. But it is such a busy circuit, as we know. And we had a good weekend. Shame about what happened in race 1, but yeah, we've enjoyed it. It's first time back after a bit of a layoff for us. So yeah, cracking. A big thanks to all my local sponsors that have been here to see us this weekend. You know, Mitchells and Mansfield and John Lawson and Mr. Hegarty as well. Give him a shout. It's good to be close to home and have everybody here. I've enjoyed it. Good weekend.
And Tom, you've closed up a bunch of points, which must have been the main aim for the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. After missing Alton Park after a bad injury, you know, it's nice to come back and be at the shop, and just had a bit of time out and got everything right, got back to fitness, and we're back again really, hopefully.
Well, it's closed up the championship, so it's great for us as neutrals. We'll look forward to seeing you out at Brands Hatch.
Thanks very much.
So another fantastic day's racing here. And the championship, look at that, it's closed right down again now. Reeves and Clues are still at the lead, but Schofield and Thomas banging out solid results week after week are still there in second. But the Birchalls, they've done what they came to do this weekend. They've closed the gap right up in third position. So as we head into the second half of the championship, Brands Hatch is the next round 5 on August Bank Holiday weekend. What promises to be another stupendous day of Sidecar racing action here. Well, I can't wait for that. Hopefully you can join us for that one. My thanks to Steve Day as ever. My name's Roger Warren. Look forward to seeing you again soon.